Thrive Hedera is for you, though. We want to grow Hedera. And so if you're a builder looking to deploy on Hedera, we're the place for you.
So today we welcome Matt. He is the head of content over at Thrive Protocol. Matt, welcome.
Thanks, Brandon. So glad to be here. I really appreciate you taking the time and allowing us to talk a little bit about Thrive Hedera.
Well, that's exactly what we want to get into. To start off, Matt, can you tell us a little about the program that you're running with the HBAR Foundation right now?
Absolutely. I think it might be good to just go over some general about Thrive. Thrive partners with amazing ecosystems like Hedera, of course, but also Polygon, ApeCoin, Zion, a ton of them. And what happens is these ecosystems like Hedera, they allocate part of their treasury through Thrive. And then in turn, we go find and fund impactful projects to go and deploy and scale in that ecosystem. And how it works is this. So like every builder funded through Thrive, they must show that they're creating impact at milestones of value. And so these milestones are defined. It could be something like launch on mainnet, do some scale, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But basically when someone submits, a project submits a milestone, it goes to our credibly neutral, decentralized reviewer network. And a consensus of those reviewers have to thumbs up it and say, yes, the proof was there and looks like they did create impact before funding goes out. And so what that does is make sure that when partner ecosystems like Hedera, allocate their funds through Thrive, they know they're going to get a positive return on investment from their treasury funds.
Well, that's exactly what we want to hear. Can you just kind of walk us through what that process might look like of applying for a grant through Thrive?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to? I can show actually our app here too.
Even better. Perfect.
Cool. So first of all, yeah, you just it's very simple process. I mean, there's a few ways into Thrive. It sort of depends. Like if you get into the Thrive ecosystem through our certification process, which we can talk about in a second. Then that really opens you up funding cross ecosystem. But specifically for Hedera, you go to thrivehedera.com and you would just connect your wallet, just your Hedera wallet. There's a few different ones that you can connect with, but we'll just choose Hashpack here and it'll take a second to sign. I'm on a laptop, so I got to move some things around here and approve the message. And there we go. So this is the logged in interface for Thrive Hedera. And you can see at the top, it says like the total for this season, it's 4 million HBAR being allocated to impactful projects. And then down here, very simple, there are two different tracks with Thrive Hedera. There's the Boost program, which is for projects from other ecosystems looking to deploy or redeploy on Hedera. And then there's the Launch program, which is visionary builders creating innovative projects natively to launch on Hedera. And both of these programs are 2 million HBAR each. And then we can just sort of like drill into one and you can kind of see. But you just click on one of them. Gives you a lot of details in here, which we won't go through because it's, you'll read. But it tells a little bit about the program, what types of projects we're looking for. Could be DeFi, could be game, could be a bunch of stuff. AI, RWA. It's pretty like wide and open as long as you're creating impact for Hedera. And then it talks about like total funding amounts up to 180,000 HBAR per funding. And yeah, just give some details. And then all you have to do to apply is just hit the little purple button down here. It takes you to an application, fill it out. Probably takes, I don't know, maybe something like 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes if you've got all your ducks in a row. It's going to ask you some specifics like, do you have on-chain data, like where you are in the life cycle of your project, that type of thing. And then what happens is when that gets submitted, that goes to our reviewer network too. And the reviewer network, and like I said, it's a decentralized reviewer network of experts who know things like governance or know things like dev or whatever, but it goes to the appropriate subset of those reviewers. They look at it and just make sure, very like base level, is this a complete application? Does it look like it's a legitimate project, et cetera? They just do some screening for us. Once that happens, our ecosystem leads, it's Gopika for Thrive Hedera, we check it out, they check it out, and they're like, is this appropriate for this program? And can we stand behind it as Thrive? For the ones that we do, we bring it to the board. We have a Thrive Hedera board made up of some of the HBAR Foundation and Thrive members who just basically are like, yep, thumbs up or veto in case it's not a good fit. So that's basically the process. And it normally takes from the beginning to the end, I don't know, maybe a week, I guess. And just the last thing too, Brandon, before we get back to you, is it's rolling admission. So, the sooner that you submit your application, the sooner you're going to know the results of that and get you funded and get you working.
All right. Well, that's what we want to hear. I know one of the issues in the past has been that some of these grant processes could take a fair amount of time. So the fact that this only takes about a week is music to our ears. So the last thing I want to touch on, you talked about some of the verticals that, you're looking for, but can you tell us about, the kinds of builders that you're looking to target, and what would you tell those potential applicants that would give them the best chance of success?
Yeah, Thrive is all about creating impact for these ecosystems. Like we have a greater vision where, we want to see a crypto future. And in order to do that, then these amazing ecosystems like Hedera have to be able to use their treasury funds very efficiently. They have to get return on investment. It's the only way for crypto to grow. And so really, legitimately, it's all about creating impact. So I would just advise, if you're a project, it literally can be all different types of on-chain projects. There isn't one that's necessarily out of favor. It's more about, does this project, if it's a startup, show that there's a great business plan, there's a great team in place, that there's high probability that it's going to create impact for the ecosystem. Or if it's already launched, show us the on-chain data. Show us you have daily active users or TVL or whatever it is. Just show it, because then that's proof that you're going to create impact. It makes things a lot easier to fund. That's really what we're after, though. So a nice complete application, and make sure that you make it easier for our reviewers to sometimes people don't fill out their applications that well, and then we have to dig, and it's like some of the reviewers will dig for you and look out, but just make it super easy for them to find your impact, to know a bit about yourself, and that gets you on to the next stage. But really, legitimately, any vertical for the most part, as long as it's creating impact.
It makes perfect sense. And the other thing that I was kind of curious about, we have so many builders out there that already have products. Is it a good idea to have a new feature or something like that to lay out that they want to work on or add to their already good suite of products when you're making one of these applications?
Great question. Absolutely. So if you're a project, seeking funding that's already an established project, you've already gained some traction in some way, there has to be a reason why you're looking for funding,
Sure.
right? So it could be like we're going to create a new feature, which we think will bring in more TVL or more daily active users or whatever it is. Or we want to do scaling in this way, but there has to be a reason behind it. But that's a great question. Absolutely. It's like, what is the purpose of this funding, and what do you expect to get out of it?
All right, Matt. So the last thing is there anything else you'd like to pass on to the Hedera community before we let you go?
Love the Hedera community. I have this amazing vantage point where I do a lot of content with all of our ecosystems, and they're all different. It's like such a cool experience. Usually people pick their like one or two ecosystems that they're in and that they love. But I get the vantage point of seeing how different and amazing each one of them are. And Hedera, number one, has like some amazing apps. Like I've done spaces with, I've used, I won't call them, I don't want to pick favorites, but like a ton of great apps already in a very professional, rabid community. So I love Hedera. Anyway, Thrive Hedera is for you, though. We want to grow Hedera. And so if you're a builder looking to deploy on Hedera, we're the place for you. thrivehedera.com, or just reach out to like me directly. You can DM me on Twitter and I'll direct you to the right place.
Well, Matt, the Hedera builders out there certainly appreciate you providing this service for our ecosystem. We thank you for coming on here today and telling us all about it, and we wish you the best.
My pleasure. Thanks, Brandon.
I'm now posting these interviews of Hedera builders independently to my channel. The community, influencers, and media outlets are free to use this content to spread the word on what's being built on Hedera. Once they're all uploaded, you'll be able to go to my channel and search for whatever topic or team you're interested in to find more information. Or you'll be able to get the most recent Hedera news by watching the latest HBAR Weekly update. So check them out.